Hola! I'm trying my phone now for you guys. It is April Yvette Thompson coming to you live from Marrakesh. I decided to try something a little bit later in the day to see how that works with people's schedules. And I'm just back continuing. What day are we on? I think our last day is on Tuesday or Monday. We have exciting things coming up. If you'll check the page today, you will see that there is a video from Fez, the market, the Grand Kasbah, that we'll be visiting. First week of the 17-day DreamingMorocco Retreat. And if you take a look up at the cover page, I'll make sure I have that for you guys. That is the Hassan II Mosque that you'll see in Casablanca. It's gorgeous. The mint green and the blue tiles. It's your very first stop on the DreamingMorocco Retreat. I'm very excited about it. If you're on the mailing list, which you can join at TheDreamUnLocked.com, you will be getting photos of the Riyadh tonight. You should have gotten it tonight, where we will be experiencing the 2-day Dreaming Out Loud retreat. I'm also very excited about that. And that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. It's nighttime here for me. It's like 8:15 in the evening. And I'm trying, my diva light, my little mini diva light, to see how that works. It's very interesting. The Dreaming Out Loud retreat. 2 days in the beach town called Essaouira. Essaouira is 2 hours outside of Marrakesh, which is kind of like the New York of Morocco, where our retreat will end. So if you're interested in the 9-day, which is currently only $13.50, you arrive in Marrakesh, the cosmopolitan city. I'd come a day before and have fabulous dinner and visit the Place Jemaa del Fina, which is the main marketplace that Marrakesh is famous for. It has musicians and jugglers and women painting henna on your hands and your feet in the middle of the square. It's so beautiful. It has fresh pomegranate juice, fresh orange juice carts all over the place. And it has a marketplace that goes on forever and ever and ever. And within that marketplace in Marrakesh, which you will have a guided tour of, there is steel and metal works, which Morocco is famous for. And so you can go to an entire part of the marketplace that's just metal works, from doorknobs to outdoor furniture to hamsas, the hand of Fatima. They're beautiful knockers that they make for the door, and some of them are small, some of them are huge. They can be garden statues. There's all kinds of amazing stuff. And of course, Moroccan lanterns. So there's woodworks. There's also a section just for rugs, where you just walk a couple of blocks in this marketplace and it's just rugs, right? Then there's jewelry, and you can just walk just a couple of blocks and there's just jeweler after jeweler after jeweler with North African jewelry. Everything from modern stuff to the Berber rings. Marrakesh takes a while to see your way through it. You can have gourmet food in Marrakesh, you can have amazing street food in Marrakesh, you can have seafood. Marrakesh is just, that's why I live here. It is New York, but still walkable, right? So I can walk. I'm in the center of the city, in the new part of the city, kind of like the yuppie part of the city, I kind of have to say. All the buildings are modern, but they're still Moroccan styled. It's called Galiz, but I'm a 10-minute walk to everything, which is kind of amazing. I'm a 20-minute walk to my spa. I'm a 5-minute walk to the big grocery store. I'm a 5-minute walk to the big mall, which is crazy. Then there's bodegas in every corner, and there's restaurants across the street from me, and a boulangerie, which is a French pastry shop, essentially, with internet. I mean, yeah. So for my friends who are coming to visit me to start trouble, Galiz, it's excitement, excitement, excitement. So if you're doing the 9-day retreat, you will land in Marrakesh. I would come the night before, relax, have a lovely dinner. You'll be staying in a modern hotel, very Western. Those are actually not my favorite hotels here. It is the traditional riads, which are these old stone homes that have been turned into bed and breakfasts. Those are actually the exciting places to stay, where you sit in front of a fountain and eat breakfast, and French bread and Moroccan pancakes, and breakfast goes on for a couple of hours. I really love the riads. You'll be staying in a modern one, which is where I stayed when I first came here. And then you will travel by bus, and we'll arrange that transportation to Essaouira. And it's about 2 hours, and there's a lunch break in between, because as I said, Moroccans do lunch, they do tea, they do homemade cookies, they do bread, they do cheese. It's what they do. You slow down and you enjoy life. So you will take that bus ride to Essaouira, and then Essaouira we will be in Riyadh Ben Attar, which I'll leave some pictures. You can always go to the photo album in this group, and you can see pictures of the Riyadh. And it's called Riyadh Ben Attar. It's a beautiful fountain and stone-washed walls. It's gorgeous. It's a traditional Riyadh, which is my favorite place, and that's where the 2-day retreat will be. And it will be 10 American women and 10 Moroccan women who run co-ops, and a translator, a woman translator. We will do 2 days of women sitting, journaling, writing, talking out loud about the places where they're stuck, about what they dream about and how far away they are from it, and we'll begin doing exercises to get you closer to that. And my vision for the DreamingMorocco Retreat was one that came out of the amazing discoveries that I made when I took a leap of faith, jumped on a plane without enough money and one credit card in a country, I might add, that is a cash and carry country. Every now and then you find something they'll take an Amex, but for the most part, this country is cash. So I came to a cash-only country with very little cash and relied on the universe to provide, because by taking that leap, I decided, okay, universe, I've been talking about I want to get unstuck. I've been talking about what's going to happen with the next chapter in my life. I've been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. Now it's time to do something. You're going to do, right? Right? I knew that the direction that I was in, I listened to my other actor friends tell me, and everything that everybody talked about was the next job you were going to book. And at a certain point, I realized that booking a job was not what I wanted to spend my life waiting to do. I didn't want to wait to start living. So I took inventory, and these are some of the things that we're going to do during this 2-day retreat. We're going to take a life inventory of what you've done. We're going to write about what you've done. We're going to put it down on paper. We're going to put it on a recording so you can see it. Because we don't get enough perspective about how much we've accomplished, right? Because we're so busy running to get to the life we want to have instead of actually living it. And I wrote a great post. I got kind of mad today. Hi, Kia. I got kind of mad today when one more person said to me, I don't know why you moved to Morocco. They don't like black people. They're racist. And then I got that. And then I walked into my cafe where everyone's like, bonsoir, bonsoir. You want tagine this or you want tagine? Je tourne poulet. Oh, no, you like where everybody knows my, hey, Kia, my order. It's totally Moroccan. Totally, everybody's Moroccan. Today, there were a table of African women who were clearly, I would say, either from Senegal or Cameroon, because they were speaking French. And they had, their braids and whatever. I could not get a hello. I just got such disdain. And I was like, oh, same thing happened to me when I was in the square. And I walked by some black women and I said, hey, how are you? Nothing. And I was like, wow, it's America all over again. Great. I was like, I'm in a country Where people 3 shades lighter than me call me Mama Africa and say I'm an African, we should talk. But the people who are supposed to be dark and Africans can't bother to speak up. Hi, April. It was fascinating. So you can look down at my post below and see the aha moments that I made. And in the same breath, when I got back to my building, the super downstairs, they had a plate of couscous waiting for me. And they're what you call light-skinned North Africans. And they're like, no, sister, how are you? It's 3. It's time for couscous. Who come to check on me? How are you doing? Do you need anything? Did you find the veterinary's office? Did you find the market I told you about? The fruit there is better. I was like, wow. And I wrote an Eva post. I put those disclaimers before my post. And I was just like, it's so fascinating to me that the same people who warned me about all the bad things that are going to happen to me in a Muslim country and the racism and how it's so strict and authoritarian, I was like, they're from countries where I visited where I couldn't get a hello, and I was a black person, and I came to visit that country because it's a black country, and I couldn't get a hello, and they were like, oh, your color, what's your caste? What do you do for a living? Do you make enough money for me to talk to you? And I was like, I had an aha moment about why Morocco was so magical for me and for other women that I've met who've just picked up and said, I'm moving here. I left behind all the stuff that I was unhappy about in America. I left it behind. I came here intentionally to be vulnerable. Because in America we pretend like we're not vulnerable, but we're actually extremely vulnerable. But we got cell phones, so we can pretend like we don't, and we can go to Beyonce concerts. But you don't own the moment you're in America. It can change from one day to the next because it doesn't have a value system that's sort of solid. You might not matter tomorrow at all. And I was like, it's really interesting that how I entered this country, because I have no choice. I don't speak the language. I don't know the customs. I've read about them, but I don't know them. There's no assumptions I can fall back on. I have to rely on the kindness of strangers. And that is the biggest challenge about taking this journey. It is not just any old country. When I went to Greece, Greece is 6,000 years old. Yeah, but nobody was inviting me into their homes in Greece. Here, people have been living in the same places since the 12th century, whole families. And they invited me into their homes. Didn't matter I didn't speak English. Didn't matter. I mean, that I didn't speak French or Amazi or Darija, which is Moroccan Arabic. It didn't matter. The attempt was to communicate. Period. How are you? You're a good person, right? All I had to do was remember people's names and say hello. And the love just poured out. Nobody cared where I was from. Nobody cared about money. And then I ran up against people who looked just like me, who were looking me over for spare parts. There's no vulnerability in those looks. Are you good enough to talk to me? There's no vulnerability. And I realized, all this stuff I heard, and I'm wearing shorts. Modest shorts, but I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt. Some denim boyfriend shorts and big t-shirt, chilling at my cafe, right? And all these black women were dressed down like Beyonce. See how that works? And what came with that was the intractability of being Western. All of it came, it all sat together. And I realized when people tell me about their experience in Morocco, they didn't come to Morocco like I did. I came with very little money and an open heart because I have no choice. I was relying on the kindness of strangers. And what I got back in return was the universe teaching me the kindness that you're so hungry for, the ease and simplicity and pleasure of life that you are starved for is waiting for you. You actually just have to have the courage to leap into your own vulnerability. The thing that you want is something that you're not modeling in your behavior. That's why it's not coming. Once you start modeling it in your behavior, the world, you will be surrounded by it. Now, I started practicing that in the United States, and I didn't get any return. I just didn't. I didn't. No matter how hard I tried, you know, in my business life, in my professional life, trying to take care of and to nurture, you know, my clients, wasn't always appreciated. It was like everybody's trying to get a way around it, you know. But the minute I got hard, I started cussing, everybody got right. Dating, same thing. You know, you meet people and they were looking me over for spare parts. What do you have that I can use? What do you do? Let me Google you. And I was like, let me try kindness. Kindness and vulnerability almost wasn't even recognized. Every now and then. But generally men were like, what's the catch? What you want? And I was like, okay, I'm learning how to model this vulnerability. I'm learning how to step out on faith and be open with people, which is antithetical to what we're taught in the United States, particularly Black women. And I was like, no, I need to model what I want my life to look like, and it will come to me. And I actually just have to trust that, and that's very frightening. But in a place, you could talk about it and you do all the affirmations in the United States, but you need to show the universe, I actually am ready for change. So let me show you what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna trust you to catch me when I leap. And that's what I did. That's what I did. I have the money, I had some credit cards, which allowed me to pay for the actual trip. But money, cash money, I didn't have it. Didn't matter. It all worked out. I even stayed longer. People fed me, people housed me, people took care of me. It's extraordinary. Everywhere I went, do you know? I'm not gonna mention some of the other countries where I've been in Africa, where Black people were not lovely to me. People who looked just like me did not call my sister. They did not. They just sort of stared. There was a curiosity, but there wasn't like a joy in seeing me. And I was like, this how we got sold to white people to begin with. A kind of contempt that we have of each other, mistrust, and distrust. And I was like, it takes courage to be kind. It takes courage to be vulnerable, especially when you know it might not be returned. It takes great, great courage. And I decided I wanted to live in a place where, hey, that I needed to learn something from. And they've been practicing living this way since the 12th century, you know? So there was a revolutionary thing that was happening in real time for me here. I remember coming to a city in the western part of Africa, and getting in a taxi that was actually sent to me by, you know, the people I was coming to visit. So it was supposed to be reliable. The money was black market, and you change in the black market, whatever, and that's, everybody did it, and it was supposed to be cheaper. And the driver was so lovely and fun and picked me up, totally hustled me from the plane, and basically took my money and made a good $400 or $500 off of me. He looked just like me. I hadn't been in the city, I had been in the country 10 minutes, and I was hustled. I was like, wow, okay, but did the hotel, you sent him to me. You're running this event. Like, you sent me somebody to rob me and pick me up. I'm the most vulnerable ever. I'm in a country I don't speak the language. Okay, thanks. Here, the other day, I was lost. I was walking around looking for my spa, and I know I'd been there before, so I kind of knew where I was, but I was wandering, you know, something in New York City. You never do, even if you don't know where you're going in New York City, you act like you know where you're going. And I was like, well, here I have no choice. I am in the Medina with all these tight little streets. If you look at the video I posted today, all these tight little wandering streets, you know, no signs, no street names. I got out of the taxi, and the guy was like, this is it, right? But I got to enter that maze. And I enter the maze and I'm trying to remember, and the guy comes up to the taxi and is like, oh, what do you mean? He speaks in Spanish, and I respond, and he's like, from Spain, and I was like, no, America, and he switches to English, and he says, where are you going? And I was like, Mythic Oriental, I think I'm knowing where it is, you know? And he goes, oh, you're right, you take this and this, and then he's, it's much easier. I walk with you, and that's all the way. I walked with you to make sure you get to the right turn. And he just walked with me. He's a young guy, maybe 30. He just walked with me to the corner, and I was like, I know where I am. And he's like, good, you have an appointment? If not, you should call, make an appointment now. So around the corner, but call. They're private, you know, they're very private. And he takes out his phone. I was like, no, it's good, it's good. He's like, okay, you make the turn. When you recognize, you wave at me. Tell me you know where you're going. And I'm like, thank you so much. And I turn to him, and he's like, I wait. And I'm like turning to him to give him money. And he's like, I wait. You can't get lost. Don't get lost. I was like, because I was vulnerable. I did not pretend to know what I was doing. I was counting on the universe to figure it out for me. I was learning to live like a Moroccan in the moment and be present and trust the universe to have my back, because I've done everything that I need to do. I've done all my personal work. I've taken the leap of faith. I've taken the journey. The universe has got me, because that's what manifesting is. Manifesting is doing all of the personal work to remove all your garbage and saying to the universe, I'm actually ready for a change, and the only thing I can control is me and how I feel. That's it. I have no control over anyone else. So sitting around complaining about how somebody's treating you is of no use. What is of use is how you respond in the moment. That's what manifesting is. And you don't have any attachment to how that works out. That's why just the journey of traveling is transformation. It precipitates a personal transformation, because you're entering someplace where you're relinquishing control. You're relinquishing an understanding and the ability to know what's going to happen next. And that's what the Dreaming Out Loud technique is about. It's letting go of what we believe life is supposed to look like, so we can actually start living the life that we're having. And that requires vulnerability, it requires trust, it requires faith, it requires the expectation of good. And it's hard work getting to those things, particularly the expectation of good. Really hard work. It requires self-love, which isn't an affirmation or a discussion. It's actually a set of actions you take in your own behalf. And each time you take an action in your own behalf, you're proving to yourself, wow, I can create change. I can do this for myself. Before you can do that, you have to get rid of some limiting beliefs. And the 3 steps of the Dreaming Out Loud technique are all about identifying limiting beliefs that you have and releasing them by doing something that disproves them. Basically, oh, I'm fat, nobody cares about me. Okay, I'm gonna go to a beach in a really pretty bathing suit with my fat self and just drink my slushie and be happy. And somebody gonna walk by and tell me I'm beautiful. Because I'm daring. I'm daring to let this belief go and attract goodness. But it takes vulnerability. It takes opening. And it takes expecting something good to happen when you decide to make change. That's the big difference. And that is really hard to get to, I have to say, as a woman, and particularly as a Black woman. We are taught that shit does not work out and you got to fight for everything and nobody's going to look out for you and nobody's going to take care of you. And that becomes its own self-fulfilling prophecy. So I started dreaming out loud to figure out who the fuck I was and what the fuck I was doing, but also to release the patterns that had been handed to me. They were no longer serving me. And the biggest lesson I learned is you could talk about self-love all day long, but until you do something to challenge the negative beliefs that you have about yourself, they don't go away. You actually also have to be prepared to let them go, which is a huge change. And letting them go is not something you talk about. That's why therapy is so important, because everybody talks about, I'm about to make a change and I'm going to pray and meditate over it. And I was like, but there's accountability. Therapy, there's real accountability. What is the funkiest shit you believe about yourself? We're going to get at that. And we're going to get at it by going back in time to the first time you actually came to the conclusion that you weren't worthy of goodness. That's what Dreaming Out Loud is about. It's 20 years of me staying in therapy and life coaching. It's 20 years of me learning how to do new things that I was told I could not do. Learning how to write, going to acting school, making a living as an artist, not working for anyone. All these things that I dreamed about, I actually did. Raising money, producing my own work, starting my own business, and saying, no, I understand that you won't pay me $500 an hour, big fat university, but someone will, and stepping out on faith. It's because I did things that I learned to love myself. And in having to write a TED Talk, because I did not pursue the TED Talk opportunity, I was nominated as someone who saw my solo show, who I went to high school with. I was nominated. They just asked me and brought me to Miami to do this TED Talk. The act of having to put together a TED Talk, and it's scary. They give you 20 minutes and they give you a format and a subject, and you have to come at that subject however you know how, and write an organized speech that begins with a problem that is universal, and then how your personal story helps you work through that problem. And I really had to sit down and sort of organize my writing from the last 20 years and the lessons that I learned and what I've been teaching my clients. And that's where Dreaming Out Loud came from. And now it's very methodical. In all of my 12-step courses, I'm teaching a version of the Dreaming Out Loud technique, right? First step, go into the subconscious and identify what you believe about yourself, right? Second step, now that you've identified what you believe about yourself, let's flesh through those recurring themes and disprove them by setting up a set of actions, a set of goals that we're going to go after. And it starts with many things like, oh, no one will take care of me. Okay, we're going to go out into the world. We're going to do this exercise where another human being does show up and take care of you. So we can disprove that thing that you believe about yourself, right? So once you've identified the limiting beliefs, then we do a series of exercises in real time, real life, to disprove the beliefs that are no longer serving you. Right? And the final step is the questions, right? Which, now that you've identified the limiting beliefs, you can now proceed to remove them out of the way. And then that opens this door for you to reshape and reframe your life and the next set of things that you're going to learn or pursue or change or transform. But first, you got to get rid of the garbage in a 1, 2, 3 process. So this coming Tuesday, I'm going to teach a Dreaming Out Loud class on Zoom live. You'll have to sign up for it because I want people to get a real taste of just what we're going to do in that 2-day retreat. Because there are a lot of people really interested in the 9-day retreat. I think we have 10 more days for you guys to make a decision unless the class fills up first. So I'm getting lots of questions and a lot of hemming and hawing. And I posted something earlier this week. If you have questions, doubts, fears, things are unclear, you can set up a call with me, 1-to-1. I'm going to post the link here, and we can work through them. You can join the Zoom. It will be a live video teleconferencing meeting. I'll send you a link. You will log on from your phone or your laptop, and your screen will pop up, and you will interact and talk with me in live time, and we'll have a board, and we'll work through these exercises. That's the Dreaming Out Loud technique. And during that class, I'm going to reintroduce the 3 options that we have moving forward from October 1st. We have the 17-day retreat, which is fantastic. It's $19.99, right? It's at least 6 cities, 6 villages, another 4 or 5 towns. It's a lot. And lots of events, from hiking to cooking classes, and a lot of things are included in that. So the itinerary is really important to look at. Then we also have the 9-day retreat, right? Which is basically You come into the big city of Marrakesh, you hang out for dinner. The next day you travel to the beach town, 2 hours outside of town. And then we spend 2 days doing the Dreaming Out Loud retreat. And then after that, we do beach hopping. Hi, Joanna. We do beach hopping. And beach hopping is great because there are a bunch of beach towns right outside of Marrakesh. So from Essaouira, we do beach, we watch the sunset, we have an amazing meal at one of my favorite restaurants there. It's total seafood, fresh vegetable restaurant. It just feels like everybody just pulled everything out the ground. And since Essaouira is a big city, it's a more of a cosmopolitan kind of restaurant. And then we head to Agadir, which is a big surfing town, and we hang out by the beach. And hopefully, if people are into it, I want to rent a horse and ride on the horseback riding on the beach. That's an option there. And then from Agadir, we stay overnight, and then we come back to Marrakesh and we shop. We shop till you drop. And I would stay a couple of days longer in Marrakesh if I were you. We shop, we go to the club. I mean, whatever you want to do. There's nightclubbing, there's high-end designer, Moroccan designer shopping in Marrakesh. I actually went and sat in a cafe in the designer section of the Medina. Can you imagine? It's the 12th century Medina, and they got local designers have shops. They're expensive. Yeah, the dresses start at $200, but the tea and everything around them and the pottery and then the dishes, it's real great. I just go and sat and had lunch in La Terrasse. So, yeah, the 9-day is like a great option. You still get the retreat and you still get to see a portion of the country, the beach portion of the country, which will still be warm this time of year. Even in November, it'll be warm. The only places that will be cold on the retreat are the mountains. And the desert wasn't really cold, it was nippy, but it was hot as hell during the day and then dropped into the 60s at night. It wasn't like, they don't have like biting winter. The mountains are cold. You're not really going to be out in the mountains. We're going to walk up to the mountain or take the camel. It's about 45 minutes to an hour walk. It's nice. It's not hardcore, but it is a walk. And then we stay overnight and in these beautiful rooms with fireplaces. So you're not really roughing it. You're in somebody's beautiful house built to the side of a mountain, you know, with a beautiful Moroccan tile bathroom. Like, I thought I was gonna be roughing it. I was like, this house is nice. So, yeah, I mean, the 9-day is a great option. So, you'll have the 17-day option. And this is what I'm going to announce in this Dreaming Out Loud class after we do the Dreaming Out Loud exercise for a mini version of it next week, Tuesday night. And that will be, the 17-day will be your option. The 9-day will be your option. And then the third option is that I'm going to make the Dreaming Out Loud technique that I'm teaching at the retreat available as an online class that you can buy. And you will get master classes, which is footage of me actually teaching at the live retreat in Essaouira on November 12th and 13th. So the online class will basically be excerpts from the retreat. So you will still get the opportunity to have the retreat. It's kind of great. And the atmosphere, and sit down and have meals with us. So it will be like taking the retreat virtually, which I find really exciting. And we will do some live broadcasting during the retreat, just to wave at you guys. But I wanted to make the vision behind the Dreaming Morocco Retreat, the process, the Dreaming Out Loud process that I have wanted to teach for so long and was getting bogged down in acting, writing, which is all great. But at the end of the day, I want to learn how to live my life better. I don't want to spend my life auditioning for jobs and looking for a job. That can't be the sole endeavor for the next half of my life. I want to live, not think about it or get ready or wait for the award and the money to live. I want to live. And I figured out a way to get rid of all the stuff that was blocking me from that. And I've been wanting to teach this since I did my TED Talk and couldn't figure out how. And now that I'm totally a digital nomad And I have a team, Hillary Ward, and Justine Hall, Roz Murphy. I have a team of fabulous women who have helped me break down some of this work and get into it. So I finally have the freedom to teach the class, and I'm so excited about it. It's 20 years of figuring this shit out in an attempt to help you not make the mistakes I have made or believe the limiting things about yourself that I spent 15 years in therapy sorting out. There's no need for it. There's not. And I'm going to make it affordable. It'll be, a monthly payment, or you can pay all up front. It's totally up to you. But I wanted the information, the process, the technique to become available to you if you can't afford the retreat right now. I want to give you a piece of it that you get to keep. So I'll include a link for you to sign up. You'll see pop-ups of that link for the next few days reminding you. You'll need to sign up and register for that class. It is a live online class and it's free. So I can't wait to see you. Does anybody have any questions about the retreat or about what's coming up? Or I don't see nothing. So here's the great thing. You can go to TheDreamUnLocked.com and you can sign up there. You can also click on the Morocco retreat. You can see the 9-day version. You can see 17-day version. You can see pretty pictures. You can see all the trip notes of how to prepare. You can buy the retreat there. There's lots you could do on that page, right? And then you can join the live class where you can really talk back, and you'll be live on video. You will be talking back with me. It'll be great. So that's all the excitement going on. I don't see any questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop off. If you decide afterwards that you have questions, write them down in the comments. Okay? So I will add the information to this link, how you can get in touch with me. And between now and October 1st, I will be setting up appointments with people. So if you are really interested in the retreat and you really just need a conversation one-on-one with me, sorting through it, I will be taking those appointments, okay, for the next 10 days. So I will also include that link. You can also DM me. You can post in the comments below. I'm really interested in this retreat. I'm trying to figure some stuff out. Can I talk to you one-on-one? And I'll be like, sure. And we'll set something up. I'll send you a link to schedule a call or a FaceTime call with me. And we'll get this done. So there's lots going on in the next week. There's the live Dreaming Out Loud class, and we're running through the finish line. There's going to be a sexy contest next week as we wrap up. We will have the chance to win a hammam spa day. Hello. So keep watching the live videos. Sign up so that you're on top of things. Because if you're on the mailing list, you get things, announcements as they happen, right? So if there's a contest that pops up, you're gonna get the announcement as it happens, right? Whereas the page, you gotta log on to Facebook and da-da-da, but if you sign up, stuff comes straight to your email, right? And also in an email, we're able to lay out the entire offer to you. It's these days, it's this date, it's da-da-da-da, so it's all in front of you. So sign up if you want to keep up with the smoking hot stuff. If you're interested in the Dreaming Out Loud, fine. So tag me in the comments and say I'm interested, and I'll add you to the list. Okay? I think that's it. I love you guys. Mean it. See you soon. See you tomorrow. I'll be back. And we'll announce the time. People are sending me notices about when they're available, so I'm trying to shift around the times that I jump on this call. I'm 5 hours ahead of you, so if I'm having a live broadcast with you guys in the evening, which is ideal for you, that's like 1 o'clock in the morning for me. But we're going to see what we can work out. Okay? Love you, mean it. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Bye.